Oh, hi. Hello. How you doing? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you. How's everybody doing today? I am doing great. Thanks. So, how's it going? Anything big happen while I was gone? While I missed one stream? The entire world happened. That's what happened. What we're going to talk about today. Today is Saturday, so I'll talk about the elections that just happened, all the wins and the big fat blue wave that happened all over the place, and then some headlines, some fun stuff, some of the other things that are breaking news. If I take off one stream day, I only stream twice a week, and then I put out like 2 videos a week. But if I miss a stream day, like entire years happen. I was looking at what to talk about this morning. I was planning on talking about the Senate and all that fun stuff, but I had a link saved for Donnie's 60 Minutes interview, which happened on November 3rd, which was apparently 500 years ago. Like, is anybody even talking about that anymore? Is anybody pointing at it? Is anybody looking at it? Things happen so fast that we don't get a chance to look at them or talk about them any longer. And it's weird. It's disturbing. Like, it gives me a lot to talk about, but it's also complicated because, like, I have to almost be online all day, every day to, like, talk about the new stuff. So, am I going to look at something from 5 days ago? Yes. Am I going to look at the elections from 4 days ago? Yes. Am I going to tell you about the future? Yes. So that's what we'll do today. CNN or CBS interview, elections from the other day, and then some pontificating, some prediction about what will happen in the future. And we're going to talk about the filibuster. I know it's boring, but it is somewhat good news. I think stick around. We've been hearing around a lot about Donnie getting rid of the filibuster and how he hates it and all that fun stuff. Not going to happen. Stick around. I'll tell you why. And then I'll turn it into a YouTube video, and then you can watch it there too. So that is the plan for today. Let's start off with something fun and silly and interesting, and it just makes me feel good. I wonder if I have... I don't. Let me get my blind spot because I'm going to need it. I'm going to copy it to the web view and then post it there. Where's the paste button? Paste. There we go. Okay. So this is Pastor Mike Johnson. He's a very awful guy. He is the Speaker of the House, third in line for the presidency, and he doesn't know anything. Like, he doesn't know anything. He's never seen anything. He's never heard anything. And I think it's very woke of the Republicans to elect a blind, deaf man to be the Speaker of the House. It's quite woke. Let's hear what he has to say. It's not anything good.
I've been so busy on all this, I've not had a chance to dig into the details. I've been so busy with this, I haven't had a chance to dig into it. I don't know what you're talking about with the children. Okay, I haven't seen that, so I'm not going to comment on it. And I'm not sure exactly what the president is referring to there.
That performance in front of the generals,
I didn't see it.
Is so dangerous.
I don't know what you're talking about with the children. I do know that ISIS...
70 U.S. citizens, according to ProPublica, have been detained by ICE so far since January.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
He hasn't seen that.
Comment on it.
There were significant cuts to staff at the special education services. Are you comfortable with those cuts?
I haven't seen the specifics of that, and I don't know. I've been so busy on all this, I've not had a chance to dig into the details of each division and how it's happened.
Yesterday said, though, that there are some federal workers who do not deserve, the quote was, to be taken care of. Is this issue the purview of Congress? Do you plan to follow this law, or is this somehow up to Russ Vought now?
Well, look, there's different legal analyses that are floating around right now, and I've been so busy with this, I haven't had a chance to
He hasn't had a
dig into it.
chance,
I am a lawyer.
guys.
I'm looking forward to reading through that, and I'm not sure exactly what the president is referring to there. I haven't had a chance to talk to him about that specific issue yet.
President Trump held a closed-door event Thursday night for top investors in his private cryptocurrency. I really have a difficult time imagining that if this was a Democratic president doing the exact same thing, you wouldn't be outraged.
Well, look, I don't know anything about the dinner. I was a little busy.
He doesn't know
this
anything,
past week. I'm not
guys.
going to comment on something I haven't even heard about.
Will you commit to including California in any disaster aid package passed out of the House?
We've not seen the calculation nor the formal.
He hasn't seen them. He doesn't know anything, guys.
I would get the request from the White House and the executive branch. That's how this works. We're going to follow the rules.
Where's the limit for you on what's acceptable conduct for federal law enforcement? And when is it incumbent on Congress to step up and demand oversight?
To demand oversight on federal law enforcement? Well, I've not seen them cross the line yet.
He hasn't seen any of that, you guys. It's very, well, as I said, it's very woke.
Bro would deny being asked a question to the face of the person who asked it.
Yeah, he hasn't seen any of these things. He doesn't know any stuff. He can't be bothered to learn things. It's very complicated. You see, he's got a very busy job, and he just can't be online. You know, he can't look at stuff. He can't determine what's going on. It's just a whole thing. You know, he can't learn things. Why would you expect him to know what the government is doing? He's only the Speaker of the House of Representatives. He's in charge of an entire fucking branch of the government. He can't be bothered, and he can't take the time to learn what the government is doing, okay? That's just too much to ask of one person. And he's the real victim here. I mean, he is, honestly. Those fake news reporters keep asking him, the leader of the government, what the government is doing and why, and he shouldn't be responsible for what the government does or why. He's in charge of the government. You see, he's not responsible for it. He wants all the power and the authority, but he doesn't want to take responsibility. He doesn't want to answer any questions because it doesn't matter what he's doing. And we'll get more into the Senate and the House later, but I thought that was fun, and it gave me a good reason to use the old conservative blind spot, fun little toy that I made up. So if you pay attention, you'll learn and notice that they keep doing that. This is a thing that they like to do, is put that blind spot just wherever they want. If they don't want to know a thing, they won't know the thing. It's very simple. It's very easy to just say, I don't know, it doesn't matter, I've never heard of it, it doesn't exist, and things are fine, and you're the one being crazy, okay? You're the one being ridiculous by paying attention to these things that we are putting behind the blind spot, you see? If we put the things that are unpleasant for conservatives behind the blind spot, then you shouldn't be asking questions about them, okay? It's in the blind spot. It's under the rug. Listen, news media, we swept that under the rug. Quit asking about it. Quit talking about it. We don't like it. And that's his job, is to put all the things under all the rugs as easily as possible, and then just tell you it's your fault for asking about it and how much you don't deserve the answers. So that one made me happy. I wanted to look fun. So, what happened in the news? Oh, yeah. The Dems won big on election night in key races. Hooray! So, the Democrats won. The Democrats winning. Democrats who won included. Well, that's a weird fucking sentence, isn't it? I should stop reading things. It only dicks me up. Zoran Mamdani won, a Muslim and self-described Democrat socialist who will become the next mayor of New York City. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, my God. Mikey Sherrill is going to win the governor in New Jersey. Not a surprise. Abigail Spanberger will become the first female governor. Libs love that. The first female anything, the first black female to do anything at all. Makes them more excited and happy. California voters passed Prop 50, which means they will redraw the map to intentionally, willingly gerrymander the hell out of themselves and make Republicans have less power. It is in response to Texas doing exactly the same thing. It's not a good way to govern. It's not a good way to operate, but it's what we're going to do. One side goes nuclear, you have to go nuclear too. It's not pleasant and it's not good, and I don't want anything to happen. I want fair maps to be existing, but neither side benefits from that, so that's not going to happen. In Pennsylvania, voters kept 3 incumbent Democrats on the state Supreme Court, preserving their party's 5-2 majority. So, yeah, the biggest thing, I think, is that, obviously, we got this evil, scary, monster, socialist Al-Qaeda member elected New York City mayor. That's a joke, obviously. Zoran's great. He's fantastic. Have you ever watched his videos? They're great. He's so good at this whole social media thing. His speech sounds real good. I don't know if I can't play.
Friends, we have toppled a political dynasty.
He's very good at being a politician.
Tonight you have delivered a mandate for change.
He's very charismatic. He makes good videos. Look at this one down here.
Good morning, New York City.
This might be copyrighted music. I don't know if it is, but
Thank you.
hopefully I don't
Last
get
night we made
kicked
history,
off.
and today we begin the work of making a new administration.
He makes good videos. They're great. Look at this.
The next and last stop is City Hall.
See? It's a fucking meme right there. The point I'm trying to make is that he is very good at the internet. He's very good at the videos. He's very good at the memes. He's very good with these things. He's very popular. He talks like a normal person would in interviews. He isn't a soulless corporate Democrat who cares only about the talking points that a think tank has given him.
Damn, he is a memer.
He's a memer. He's very good at it. So he's won. Great. Does that matter? Not usually. Usually, the New York City mayor doesn't matter that much. One, it's just one city. It is the biggest city in the world. It's one of the cities in the world. But him becoming the main character will benefit us. It will benefit you. It will benefit me. It will benefit all the progressive people on the left. Zoran Mamdani, if he is successful, will be raised to a point of prominence within the country. Donnie will never stop talking about him. Donnie's going to mention him every day, especially when Zoran's mentioning him, and he's going to, because he's not dumb. He understands how the game is played. He's the new Obama. He can't run for president as he wasn't born in America, which is fine. But Johnny's going to mention him. He's going to become the thing that's stuck in everybody's brain. He's going to become the face of the Democrat Party. And the Democrat Party will have to follow him. He is now a Democrat leader rather than Chuck Schumer. Everybody hates Chuck Schumer. They fucking hate that guy. Nobody likes him except for the Wall Street tycoons who are benefiting from his votes. Nobody likes Hakeem Jeffries except for the Wall Street executives who are making shitloads of money by him being a wiener. Okay, those guys like him, but the people don't. The people don't give a shit about these people. They don't like them. They have no charisma. They cannot make those videos. They can't make videos, and they can't do the memes. And they can't get people cheering and excited. When people vote for Chuck Schumer, it's because they don't like Republicans. They don't like Chuck Schumer. They just, oh, God, they have to vote for him because the Republicans are worse. So you've got Chuck Schumer, dirty dishwater, versus Republican sewage. You know, I mean, you have to choose. Do you drink dirty dishwater or do you drink raw sewage? Well, it's not pleasant, but you choose the lesser of the two evils. Chuck Schumer, the lesser of the two evils. He's the least disgusting of the two options. And there's no way around it because they are entrenched. The Democrat Party only exists to make money.
They can't act like a person because then they might say something partisan and alienate someone with shitty priorities.
Exactly. They have to have every idea run through the committee, run through the think tank, run through the consultants. Then it has to be rewritten by their speechwriters, and then it has to be field tested on what's the word? When you have a group of people that test whether or not the message is good. It has to be tested through the people, and then eventually, finally, he's allowed to say something milquetoast in the middle that means nothing and has no teeth, no bite, no interest, nobody getting excited to hear the message. Zoran's not doing that. He's just telling you what's good for people. And he's not interested in what's good for the businesses. The businesses will take care of themselves. They have the power. They have the authority. They have the money. They have the lawyers. They have most of the Senate in their pocket. So they can take care of themselves. Somebody needs to help the people. This is why so many people appreciate Bernie and AOC. So now we have Bernie, AOC, and Zoran pushing these left-wing ideas, these progressive agendas, and it's great. And Johnny's going to make him the main character of the DNC. Then more people will join the DNC, and they will demand more of their people be like Zoran. Be like Mamdani is the message that the DNC does not want to hear. Be more like Zoran Mamdani. They don't want to hear that. That's why Chuck Schumer didn't endorse him, because he does not want to be more like him. Being more like him is a step to the left. Doing the things that Zoran pushes for is a step to the left. And that is a step away from big money. And Chuck Schumer can't afford that shit. He cannot afford to step away from the big money, to step away from the big donors. He needs that money to stay filthy rich. And it's quite disgusting of you and me to ask him to step away from being filthy rich. How dare we ask him to do things for the people that are going to make him lose giant donor money? It's just rude. And he knows that he's self-interested, but he has to couch it in a language. He has to sell the people on the words that he's saying.
He's earned that massive pile of bribes.
He's earned that massive pile of bribes, and you're rude for asking him to walk away from it, to not get that much next year. He's already got the bribes he has, okay? He's already gotten a shitload. And you asking him to take fewer next year is an attack on his identity, and he won't stand for it. And I think that's what's most important about this win, is not all of the people who won were screaming leftist socialists. The Spanberger, I think, is just a regular Dem. But over the next year, as he is prominent within the media, and he will be on TV, the media likes people who are charismatic. The news wants to talk to him. Fox News wants to call him a jihadist, so they're going to keep bringing him up. Johnny wants to call him a Marxist Muslim Al-Qaeda member, so he's going to keep bringing him up. That means the regular CNN, who sucks, and the news reporters are going to want to talk to him. The more Donnie brings up your name, the more you get in front of the TV cameras. And the more you're in front of the TV cameras, the people see what you're talking about and then listen to you maybe a little bit. But then the regular Dems who want to win are going to start copying him. That's what happens when you're popular. People copy you. Literally doing it right now into this camera. Popular people saying intelligent things and go do live streams, and then they get to tell you their opinions, and it feels good, and I enjoyed watching them, so I did it myself. Copy the popular people. It's what everybody does. That's what the Dems will do. They will copy him because he's popular and he's winning. And they will copy his talking points. And then they will win more. And then they will win more. Inertia. Momentum will be on their side. And then we're going to have another election a year from now, because we never get time off. Every year is an election year. And America put it that way so that we could never stop electing things. We love democracy so much. We do it every year. Other smart countries take some time off, but we don't. We always have an election coming up. The election just ended a couple of days ago, and there is another election on in sight, because we do it every November. Some of them are less important, I know. Some of them aren't quite as big as others, but there will be more. There will be another. And the next one is going to be a big one. This one over the past week was relatively small. Yes, it had a big name and it had a bunch of people paying attention to it, but the next one's going to be even bigger. Even more people will be elected. Even more people will win. Even more people will lose. And if I'm being pessimistic, and I try not to be, but here I am going to be pessimistic, the big win last week is going to spook all the Republicans. It already has. All the people in power are now unhappy that they lost. Donald and the DOJ, led by PM PST, the Nazi, are going to crack down on elections. I've been prognosticating it for years, but this win last week is only going to make it happen more, is only going to convince them that they need to shut down elections. The midterms are going to be a fucking bloodbath, and I mean that possibly literally. I think there actually might be blood spilt outside these polling places by ICE agents harassing people standing in line, and the police trying to stop them and or being on their side, and the military being outside these polling places. That will happen in blue districts. That will happen in places that are filled with people with Hispanic last names. Even though they're born in America and they have every right to vote and they've registered to vote, they're going to get tear gassed while waiting in line to vote next year. 1 year from now. That's what I'm telling you. There will be tear gas dispersed at polling places in 1 year. This will not go well. This will cause a lot of people to be upset. And I've talked about this before. Maybe I'm a broken record, but just in case there's a new listener. I think that at the midterms, there will be ICE agents hassling people with Hispanic-looking faces. Just, you see a dark face, you hit them up. Say, who are you? What are you doing here? Show me your papers. Let me know that you're allowed to vote. What? You've got a driver's license? That doesn't count. What? You've got a passport? That doesn't count. Show me more. Show me one more piece of evidence. What? You didn't bring anything else? Well, you need to go back home and you need to get your immigration papers. You were born here? Where are your immigration papers? Your name is Victor Manzuela. Where are your immigration papers? Your name is Jose Gutierrez. Where are your immigration papers? Yes, you're telling me you were born in California, but I need your immigration papers. I don't have immigration papers. My name is Waldo Lesname. I was born in Texas. I don't have immigration papers. I didn't immigrate. I was born there. You know, but they're going to demand these things, and people are going to run away scared. People are going to avoid voting because they don't want to be hassled. They're going to avoid voting because they don't want to get tear gassed. They're going to avoid voting because they don't want to be in handcuffs for the few days afterward. And the police might try to stop this. Some of the police might be on it. It depends on where you are. Usually the police aren't on ICE's side. They haven't been lately, which is good. I would love for the next year all of the media to push people away from being on ICE's side. But usually the cops aren't on their side, but it depends. Then you're going to have the Donnie and Pam Bondi, the Nazi, sending the National Guard to keep the peace in these places, and people will be afraid to go to the polls. They will be afraid to go there. Malcidian's here. Thank God. We're talking about the election. I mentioned it a minute ago. You can go back and watch it if you want, and then catch up. Watch it on 1.5 speed. That's what I do. Thanks for being here, boss. So yeah, I think next year will be worse because of the wins they had last week. Last week's success will lead to a further, more dangerous crackdown next year. And I'll be here to watch it. So maybe I'll be what's the word on YouTube? Monetized on YouTube by then. Maybe not. I don't know. So if you want to help out, go over to the YouTube, watch the videos, press the like, press the subscribe, break the bell, smash the subscribe button, and spread some hatred in the comment section, because the YouTube algorithm is powered by hatred. The more you go there and feel hatred, the more people will see my stuff. It's a good time. It really is. So, yeah. I'm glad it happened, and I'm glad it went down the way it did, and hopefully next year won't be what I'm describing. Maybe. Dining will crash out. Maybe the people will stop expecting it. Maybe things will get better. I'm not expecting it, but I mean, maybe they will. So it's terribly unlikely, but they might. So let's look at some headlines, and then I'm going to talk about, what am I going to talk about today? Journalism, the 60 Minutes interview that Donnie did 5 days ago. I know that's 500 years ago. But yeah, 5 days is actually 500 years. And then I'm going to talk about the Senate and the filibuster a little bit, because I think that's interesting, and I think it could be a big thing that's coming up in the next couple of months. So the FBI informant who lied about the Bidens, covertly released from jail. Alexander Smirnov pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI and was sentenced to 6 years in jail, and they just let him walk out. Dude, I'm telling you, if you lie for Donald Trump, you just get to break the rules. You just get to break the law. You just get to do whatever you want. There is no rules. There are no laws anymore. Alexander Smirnov, the ex-FBI informant who admitted to lying about Biden-Burisma connection, you know, that big, honking, monstrous thing that we talked about for months and months and months and months on end. It was based on a lie that this guy told. And he got sentenced to jail. He has been released from prison just months into his 6-year prison sentence. In a plea deal in December 2024, he admitted to completely fabricating the conspiracy that became central to the Republican effort to impeach then-President Joe Biden. So, all based on a lie. Days later, the Russian asset pleaded guilty to 4 felony charges, including 1 count of obstruction, and was sentenced to 6 years in prison. But the U.S. Israeli citizen has been missing for at least 4 months from a low-security Los Angeles prison he was relegated to, according to investigative reporter. Smirnov is still listed as a prisoner at the FCI Terminal Island in Los Angeles, where his anticipated release date of February 2029, according to the Bureau of Prisons. But a process server responsible for handing off details of a civil lawsuit to Smirnov was unable to find him at the facility. Somebody went to talk to him, and there he is. He's just gone. An employee at the prison confirmed that to the process server that while Smirnov is affiliated with the facility, he was not currently housed there. So he's in jail. He's just not there. He's gone. He left. He just kind of walked out. Who cares? Not important. What's the matter? What is a jail? What right does a jail have to keep people in prison? I was advised to call back approximately 15 days. As Smirnov may or may not return to the facility at that time. He might be there. He might not. Nobody fucking knows. Who could possibly tell? The representative was notably guarded and provided minimal information beyond that. After months of failed attempts to find and locate Smirnov, the local sheriff's department managed to receive a clear response from the facility. Oh, good. The sheriff's department is involved now for the person who left jail. They've confirmed that Mr. Smirnov has been furloughed, but no forwarding or new address has been provided. So he just left, man. He's on the loose. So he's just gone. Nobody knows where he is. I can't say for sure, based on the information I have, that a pardon deal is in the works, Oregon criminal defense attorney said, but if one were, this is what it would look like. I can say that this is an extraordinarily concerning way for the government to be treating someone when they're already accused of improper connections with him. So if you do Donnie a favor by lying about Joe Biden, you get to ignore the law. You're allowed to break the law if it benefits Donald Trump. That's why I put up the thing. I know I put it up on my YouTube page somewheres. Let me see if I can find it. The chart that I made. Where is my chart? Where is my chart? I put it up on my YouTube page. I should make it a thing to put on the screen. I just haven't because I suck at everything. Shut up, YouTube. Nobody wants you. So there's Waldo right there. There's my posts. Yeah. Here you go. Does it benefit Trump? Yes, then it's legal. Does it benefit Trump? No, it's illegal. That's it. That's all the law is anymore. I just saved you years of law school. Okay? You can now get a degree if you simply follow this chart. That's all there is. There's no law anymore. There's no reason to go to law school to learn all the fucking laws. Read the books about 18th century fucking tort reform. Get the fuck out of here. The only thing that matters anymore, does it benefit Donald Trump? If the answer is yes, it's legal, it's allowed. This guy, this liar who lied to the FBI, benefits Donald Trump. That makes it legal. You see? If you don't benefit Donald Trump, like Joe Biden, then it's not legal. Where did my chart go? If you are against him, running against him, saying that he's a liar, saying that he's doing things improperly, then you are not benefiting him. Then it is illegal. Okay? No reason to ever go to law school anymore. No reason to learn about the complicated system of rules within the judicial area. Nobody needs it. It's worthless. This is all there is anymore. It's all that matters. It's the only thing that exists right now. And it might stay that way because the government shut down. And it may never come back. So this is all you need to know. I'm saving you millions maybe not millions. I'm saving you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Don't go to law school. Just know this. If you can keep this in your head, you don't need to go to law school. You don't need to spend all that time. You don't need to spend all that money. I'm willing to bet you could just get a law degree by proving that you can remember this. And you could just then get a job as one of Trump's lawyers. This is all you need to know. This is all they know, honestly. They go into court poorly prepared because it doesn't matter how prepared you are or how true anything is or how real anything is. This is all that matters. This flowchart is American law now. So let's see what else do we have to talk about today. Here is Trump exempts Hungary from Russian oil sanctions for a year. You see, to hurt Russia, Donnie put out oil sanctions and said countries who buy from Russia are not friendly with America, but because Hungary wants to, and they're nice to Donnie, they get to skip the rules. If you're nice to Donald Trump, you get to break the rules. If you're nice to Donald Trump, you get to break the rules. That is why Tim Apple, went to the White House and gave a big fat bribe. That is why Mark Zuckerberg went to the White House and gave a big fat bribe. He promised a big fat bribe. I don't think he even gave it to him. He just said, we're going to invest. The Zuckbot went there and said, we're going to invest $600 billion, 600 trillion billion quadrillion. He's making up numbers. Donnie doesn't know that they're made up numbers. And they were going to do that anyway, or they were going to spend the money that they were going to spend anyway. They just told Donnie they were doing it because he's an idiot. A Google. They're going to spend a Google. He doesn't. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't use that word. Even if it is an actual number, he doesn't use it. We're going to spend a googletillion dollars on the American economy. And then Donnie goes and tells his fans, he tells the MAGA crowd, I'm going to the Facebook. I had a wonderful discussion with Mark Facebook. And he told me they're going to spend $11 gajillion on the American economy. It doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be real. It could be anything they were doing anyway. I mean, I bought a bag of hot Cheetos, is that my promise to spend $5 on the American economy? Not really, but if I sold it the right way, Donnie would agree with it. He'd be like, Waldo spent $5 on the American economy by buying hot Cheetos. It doesn't make any sense. I was going to do it anyway. I buy a lot of hot Cheetos anyway. I bought them before Donnie, and I'm going to buy them afterward. So hopefully, assuming there's a planet left and there's a world, and you're still allowed to buy things. But yeah, if you help him, if you make him happy, you get to break the rules. You get to dodge responsibility. You get to avoid tariffs. You get to avoid sanctions. You get to dodge everything. You get to do whatever you want. You get to break all the rules. You get to walk out of prison anytime you feel like it. You get Who was that guy that got the other pardon? The Dinesh D'Souza was mean to Hillary 20 years ago. That means he gets to dodge and be pardoned for the crimes he did 10 years ago. Makes sense to Donnie. It really does. Then I think there's another one here. I think I've got another one here. What was it? No, not this one. Not this one. Where are you? It was talking about the crypto guy. There we go. Crypto guy. There's a crypto guy. Oh, let me do this right. That Donnie pardoned. Why did he pardon him? Because he made his children a bunch of money. You see, if you give him a bunch of money, you're allowed to break the laws. And that's okay.
This year, the president has pardoned or shortened the sentences of more than 1,600 people. The latest pardon was for a cryptocurrency tycoon who is known as CZ. The company CZ founded,
he's known as CZ because he's got a Chinese name and it's hard to pronounce.
Binance, helped boost the profile of the Trump family's crypto firm, World Liberty Financial.
He pled guilty in 2023 to violating anti-money laundering laws. Right. The government at the time said that CZ had caused significant harm to U.S. national security, essentially by allowing terrorist groups like Hamas to move millions of dollars around. Why?
That's the problem with crypto. You don't know who's doing it, and you don't know why they're doing it. You're allowed to just move money around all over the place. Now, this is good for terrorists. It's also good for politicians. They love the idea of untraceable bribes. They love that shit. That's why they're all on crypto. That's why they're all on board for the crypto movement. Johnny wants crypto so he can be paid by Saudis, by Saudi Arabia. They can just give him money. They used to have to go through this whole complicated process of like renting his hotel rooms and then not showing up, you know, and then not sending anybody there. That was how they used to give him money. But now they can just buy his crypto. It's blatantly a bribe. It's obviously a bribe. It's clearly illegal. And it ought not to be allowed. But it makes them money. Again, I go back to the chart. Does it help Donald Trump? Yes. Does it benefit him? Yes. Then it's legal, then it's allowed. Does preventing him from taking bribes benefit him? No. That makes preventing him from taking bribes illegal. You see, it's a very simple process. This is why I made the chart, so that we'd all be able to easily follow it. So what does he have to say about it, though?
Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is.
I don't know who he is.
I know he got a 4-month sentence or something like that.
And $50 million fine, which he's never going to pay now that he's been pardoned.
That, and I heard it was a Biden witch hunt.
In 2025, his crypto exchange Binance helped facilitate a $2 billion purchase of World Liberty Financial's stablecoin.
He gave, this Chinese guy, gave Donnie's children $2 billion. Okay. Why were we mad at Joe Biden? Why were the Republicans mad at Joe Biden? Because his son got money from a foreign fucking country, from some foreign company. But they're okay with this guy openly, willingly, out in the open, where everyone can see it, giving Donnie's children $2 billion. That's fine. That's legal. That's allowed. That gets you pardoned. Giving Donnie's children money gets you pardons. It gets you benefits from the government. It gets you Donnie's power. Donald Trump, the president, will help you if you give his children money. But if you give Joe Biden's children money, even imaginary, even if someone says that you gave his children money, it doesn't have to be true. You're a criminal. You go to jail. You get investigated. You're a terrible person and your name is dragged through the mud. Conservatives have no ethics. They have no principles. They will tell you that Hunter Biden is a horrible nightmare criminal because he took money from a company to influence his father. And then they will cheer as Donald Trump's children take money and influence him. They have no values. Conservatism is valueless. It's actually quite expensive, but it doesn't have moral values. They don't have morality. They don't have ethics. They don't have principles. They have the drive to win. They have only the drive to win and conquer. That's all they have. Spite. Conquer for spite. They have spite. They have plenty of spite. But they want to win, and they will do anything they can, including taking bribes, including lying about other people taking bribes, including pardoning people without knowing anything about them. And pointing this out is fucking worthless and useless. I know it is. And it pisses me off. I'm telling you, I'm proving the fact that Donald Trump's a goddamn liar, and it doesn't do any damn good. Pointing out hypocrisy is of no value. It doesn't do any good. They don't give a shit about hypocrisy. You do, as a human being. If I said one thing and then said the opposite, you would be mad at me. You'd be upset with me. I'd be upset with myself. I would not like that. If Zoran Mamdani comes on and does the exact opposite of everything, single thing he said he would do, I would be upset with him. It's what we got with who's the big ogre in the Senate right now? From one of the northeastern states. Guy wears a hoodie. I forget his name. But he's kind of doing the opposite of everything that he promised he would. God, I would be a better streamer if I could remember his fucking name. But I can't. John Fetterman. There it is. Okay, great. So if I was on board for Fetterman, he was saying left-wing things. He was doing a good job. Fetterman was talking about helping the working man, John Fetterman. And then he got elected. I think he did have a stroke. Then he got elected, and it gave him brain damage. And now he's a hard right-wing Israel superstan. I don't know what they did to him, but he will kill and die for Israel. He really will. That's what I did, Melcidian. I did exactly the same thing. You type in hoodie senator and he pops right up. John Fetterman. So he was pushing left-wing things. He was pushing populism. He was pushing good progressive ideas. And then he had a stroke. It gave him brain damage, and he became a conservative. And then Israel somehow, he became Israel's strongest soldier. He is Captain Israel. Like if Captain America exists, he's literally Captain Israel. And I don't understand how or why. I don't know what they did to him. I don't know how they tricked him into some sort of bargain. I don't know. They got photos of him doing something horrible to a dead girl or a live boy. I don't know. But they got something on him. Or maybe just the brain damage from having a stroke. Strokes are not good. They're not pleasant. Your brain takes damage when you have a stroke. And now I'm unhappy with him because he has become a hypocrite. You see, he said one thing, he got elected, he does the opposite. That makes me unhappy. Kyrsten Sinema did the same thing. She was pushing left-wing ideas. She was pushing left-wing ideas. Captain Israel. That's right. Kyrsten Sinema was a bisexual lady who was finally in the Senate, and she was young and she was pushing all these left-wing ideas, and then she became super right-wing conservative right after she got elected. The famous thumbs down thing that she did, blocking the passing of Obamacare and stuff like that.
He is miserable. He helps bring Palestinians down to zero.
On the Captain Planet theme, yeah. Captain Israel, he's miserable. He helps bring Palestinians down to zero. Yeah, it's kind of catchy. So yeah, he is a hypocrite, and that makes me unhappy. Sinema, hypocrite, makes me unhappy. When the few times that I've been unhappy with AOC, it's because she backs things that she said she wouldn't, because she's forced to by Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi slaps her around and says, you will fall in line. And then she has to, and she cries about it, and she's very unhappy. And that makes me feel bad for her. It makes me feel bad for the Dems. It makes me feel bad for voting for them and supporting them. But there's no other choice. It's dishwater versus raw sewage, as I said earlier. The Republicans don't care. They do not care. Republicans don't mind the fact that this entire situation with the CZ guy giving his Donald's kids billions of dollars, they don't mind. They don't care. And if you tell them that they're being hypocritical, they'll laugh and say, yeah. That's how the game is played. Make all the money you can, break all the rules yourself, and then yell at the other team for breaking all the rules. That's how they think that the Dems are operating, and they're not. They've been lied to. But they like that lie. It makes them feel better about breaking the rules themselves. If you felt bad, have you ever met anybody who felt bad about speeding? They're driving their car 5 miles over the limit. You know what most of them will tell you? Oh, no, my speedometer's broken. It's actually like 5 off. I met hundreds of people. Bro, I have met hundreds of people who have told me their speedometer is actually off by 5. And so when they're going 5 over, they're actually going the regular speed limit. Because human beings lie to themselves. They lie to themselves. They know that's horseshit. How did they know? How did they measure this? How did they get to exactly the 5? Why do so many people I talk to all know it's 5? They're making shit up. It's easy and fun and profitable to lie to yourself. Fiction is great and fun and interesting, and reality sucks. Reality tastes like shit, and imagination is way easier. Bullshit is delicious. So they feed themselves that bullshit. They regurgitate the bullshit that my speedometer's off by 5. They regurgitate the bullshit that the Dems are also just as crooked. And so when somebody lies about Hunter Biden getting millions, it's okay to shun them. But it's also okay for this Chinese guy to give Donald Trump's children billions. That's fine because, remember Hunter? Well, Hunter was a lie. But they like that lie. They love the lies. It makes them feel good. Ugh. The hell else is in the news? What's this? We're going to close that. We're going to close that. We're going to close this one. Yeah, we're going to close that. Well, we're going to stick on this topic for one more thing because I've got an actual thing to read. Here we go. Let's read about it. Last month, President Donald Trump pardoned Binance founder Changpeng Zhao, CZ. A move that raised plenty of eyebrows given Binance's promotion of the Trump family's crypto ventures. Trump was asked about Zhao's pardon on Sunday during the appearance on CBS News. He didn't know anything about it. He's never met the guy. He's never heard of it. And this is all very boring. And was there anything more to talk about? I don't think there was. Was there anything I missed? Oh, they left that part out of the TV interview. Because that's the other thing. All of this information, all this shit that I've been ranting about for the past 10 minutes, got left out of the TV interview and the YouTube interview. They removed that shit so that you wouldn't hear about it. CBS is no longer journalism. They're media. Yup, they sure are. They're media. They're not journalists. Not anymore. If Barack Hussein Obama's children got $2 billion from China, imagine the fucking fallout. Imagine what news would happen. Imagine Fox News finding out even a hint, even a suggestion, not just proof, positive, and the guy was found guilty, and he was in jail, and he got pardoned by Obama, but even a hint of this about Obama's children, about Bill Clinton's children, about Joe Biden's children would be screaming at the top of their lungs. Sean Hannity would devote hours of television to it. Tucker Carlson would be screaming about it for decades. They would be hearing about it for years, about how crooked the Democrats are. Even if it was proven not to be true, if it smells true about a Democrat, it is true. If it's proven to be true about a Republican, it's under the rug, it's not important, and there's no value to the talking about the story. And the fact that the CBS took it off of the broadcast, they cut that part. President pardons criminal who paid his children is not newsworthy to CBS. That's not important. Who wants to know about the Chinese trillionaire who paid Donnie's children billions of dollars? What value is there in that? What newsworthiness is there? Says CBS, who is now a propaganda fucking station. That's what they are. They are no longer journalists. They are media. They are propaganda, but they're not doing journalism anymore. And I wanted to talk about that because that made me mad when I read it. Where is journalism? Here we go. Journalism is the production and distribution of reports on the interaction of events, facts, ideas, and people that are the news of the day, and that informs society to at least some degree of accuracy. Some degree of accuracy. CBS is no longer doing this part. CBS is no longer doing this part. The degree of accuracy is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. It's not a thing that they need to strive towards because nobody gives a shit. Republicans don't give a shit about accuracy any longer. Conservatives don't care about accurate news reports anymore. They need the media to make them feel good about their decisions. They need the media to tell them how the thing that they felt is correct. They need emotional support. CBS is no longer journalism. It is conservative emotional stability. It is conservative emotional support. That's what Fox News has been for a very long time. Conservative emotional support channel. Maybe we need a more clever, somebody workshop that term. What do we actually call it? The conservative emotional support channel. You've heard of emotional support animals. Well, Fox News is the fox is the conservative emotional support animal. I'll work on the name, conservative emotional support, something along those lines. But go on into the Discord and tell me what you think we should call it, or hop into chat and tell me what you think we should call it. But that is the purpose of them now. They are not there to inform you. They are not here to give you some degree of accuracy about what's happening within the world. They are here to make conservatives feel better.
Did you see Trump's lack of reaction to Novo Nordisk executive Gordon Findlay collapsing in the same room as him?
I did see that. It was very funny. It was very silly, and we could probably turn it into a meme. I've got a good photo of it that I'll throw onto the Discord, but I don't know what I was looking at it. I was thinking, what meme should I put in there? What should I do? It's just an old man who fell over. It's a pretty good bit, but and it could turn into a meme. You could put him standing there, say capitalism, and then like you on the ground or something like that. But yeah, there's not I did actually have a clip from that, but we'll get to Dr. Oz here in just a minute, talking in that room right before that happened. But yeah, it's not the. But yeah, the hypocrisy argument doesn't matter to them. They don't care, and that was the point I'm trying to make about CBS. They're media, not journalism. So media, we have that one here too. So media is a communication tool and channel used to deliver information or data. So they're giving you, they are media because they're a channel used to deliver feelings. And those are conservative feelings. Those are conservative feel-good vibes. CBS exists now to give conservatives happy feelings, to give them good vibes, to make them feel better. Facts be damned. Facts right out the window. We don't need any of those things. We, in fact, avoid the facts. We cut the facts whenever they pop up. We ignore the unpleasant facts at CBS now and just make the conservatives feel better. And that's more profitable. Why are they doing that? Are they doing that because they have a moral center? No, they're doing that because of money. They're doing that because everybody who talks shit about Donald Trump gets sued. They're doing that because they want more money. They're doing that because capitalism doesn't reward reality. Capitalism rewards fiction more often than it does true things. I've watched way more fictional movies than I have real movies. I've spent lots of money on fictional video games, fictional books, fictional TV shows. But how many documentaries have I paid for? Almost none. Rarely do I ever watch them. You get them on YouTube, or you can find somebody talking about the real stuff on the YouTube if they make it interesting enough. If they talk about bread tabs, if they talk about something silly that happened alongside it. I know Killer Mech made me watch a video about bread tabs one time, and it was... I'm not shitting on Killer Mech or his suggestions or the YouTube people who put this together, but it was like this weird thing. I'm going to create drama with a much bigger YouTuber than me at the moment. It was... God, what was their name? It started with a Q, I swear. God, I can't remember the name of him. I'll have to ask him what it was. But it was some YouTube video about... it's had a catchy name about collecting bread tabs, the stupid little piece of plastic that close your actual literal bread. And then somebody was looking for a rare one. They couldn't figure out where it came from. And then that led to the person who owned the bread tab making company, and then how he was a right-wing piece of shit. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why did we have to go through all this bread tab stuff to get to the right-wing piece of shit? Can't I just make a video about right-wing pieces of shit? And then you watch it? No? You have to trick people into politics? You have to trick people into paying attention. You have to trick people into paying attention. Anywho, I'm fucking rambling. And that's what I do, is I love to ramble. I appreciate you being here to watch me ramble. What is this I'm looking at? Okay. So we're going to move on from the media and the damn failure of journalism. And that's, I guess, my point. We have lots and lots and lots of media, but very little journalism. And that ratio has gotten worse now that CBS has completely gone propaganda. Let's see. We've got Shutdown. Here's Dr. Oz being a lunatic. Here is... Gonna close that. Senate. Okay. So, yeah, let's talk about the current shutdown that's happening. Actually, let's do the Dr. Oz thing real quick. Well, this is all a part of it. So, as you might know, the government is shut down. It's been shut down for a while. We're at the longest shutdown ever. It's like 39 days now or some shit. The longest one previously was from Donald Trump for 35 days. We've gone past that. Donald doesn't want the government to ever open back up. He does not ever want the government to open back up. Because, I'll explain it at the end, but he doesn't want it to open because he keeps doing things that he doesn't like paying for food stamps and paying for foreign aid and doing things for poor people who don't vote for him. Why would the government ever do a thing for an American if that American doesn't donate to Donald Trump? Honestly. And that's his idea. That's his reasoning for it. And we get all kinds of dumb excuses, but this is my favorite from Dr. Oz. He's doing you a favor. In fact, you're actually getting a favor from the government by having it shut down. Here.
Based on the company numbers as well, is Americans will lose 135 billion pounds by the midterms. But I don't measure it in pounds. I measure it in save lives.
America will we be 135 billion pounds lighter because of the government shutdown. He's doing you a favor. You're welcome, America. Have you even thanked Donald for putting you on this diet? Have you gone and thanked him for putting you on this diet where you can't afford food, and so you'll lose weight. You see, he's doing you a favor. And then next week, when the planes all get shut down and nobody's allowed to fly anywhere anymore, you won't have to spend money flying to see your family on Thanksgiving. You won't have to spend money flying to your relatives on Christmas. Saving you money. You see? They're just doing this to help you. Saving you money on travel, saving you money on... and now that the gas is so expensive, you won't have to drive to see them either. Saving you more money. And then you're going to lose weight because you can't afford food anymore. Have you even thanked Donald for doing these favors for you? Honestly, you need to go and thank him. Say, thank you, Donnie, for saving me money and making me lose weight. It's great. It's fantastic. Or... maybe we should put the government back in charge. Maybe we should reopen the government. But Donald doesn't want that. He does not want the government opened because then he won't be in charge of anything anymore. And we've got this lunatic right here who's telling you that if they reopen the government, they'll die. So you die if you reopen it.
Most of these senators are scared to death that if they vote to reopen the government, the insane, I would argue, the people that frankly fantasize about the assassination of our great president, that they will turn on them. So they're doing this for the smallest group of people, the most violent and virulent, as opposed to the American people. We just need 5 of them to grow a spine today and get this thing to the president's desk.
You see, if they vote to open the government, the left-wing insane people will murder them. What? 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 How does that make sense? Where does this lunatic get his information? That is Tom Emmer. I'm going to look up Tom Emmer. I don't even know who that is. I don't know who that is. And I fucking watch the news every day. He is House United States Representative. So he's in the House. So Tom Emmer, this fucking huge piece of shit right here, thinks that the Democrats won't vote to take your Obamacare away and hurt you because they won't vote for that. They are going to get killed by the left. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to make sense. Republicans don't have to make sense. Hi, Malachi. Our great president is so close to our glorious leader. It really is. It's really close. You're right. That's a good point. Our great president. Yeah. So he's suggesting that if Chuck Schumer wants to open the government, he'll be murdered by leftists. You know what Chuck Schumer's been doing for the past couple of days? He's been trying to reopen the government. Like, it doesn't even make any sense what this guy is saying because Chuck Schumer's trying to reopen the government. But it doesn't have to make sense. He's on Fox News where there is no sense. Schumer is on the floor right now making this offer to the end of shutdown. Clean CR, bipartisan minibus of appropriation bills, 1-year ACA funding extension, bipartisan committee to negotiate on healthcare. So this is he says it's a reasonable offer that reopens the government, deals with healthcare affordability. 1 year of Obamacare funding, which is the reason they're really pushing against it, which is the reason they will not vote for the thing, because the thing that the Republicans have put forward does not fund Obamacare, and it's going to be down, and it's going to be gone. Bipartisan minibus, just they'll throw any bills they want in there. This is negotiation, and it's going to be shut down. It's going to be turned down by the Republicans because they want what they want, and they want it all. The U.S. Senate rejects bill to restore federal worker pay, remains at odds over the shutdown. So this happened yesterday. So this is the 7th. That was only 100 years ago yesterday. Measure to get, it got 53 votes, but it needs 60 to pass. 3 Democrats voted for it, and foes said Trump would have too much discretion to withhold pay. Now, this is an important part right here. Discretion to withhold pay. This is why this is even being brought up in the Senate. They want to give Donnie the ability to determine who gets paid and who doesn't. This is the baby step. This is the first step towards abandoning the Senate and the House. This bill, according to the Dems, would give him discretion to withhold pay. And he would do that for anything he doesn't like. He will determine that SNAP benefits are too high, so he will lower them or end them entirely. He will determine that Obamacare payments, the government paying for Obamacare, is too high or incorrect entirely, and he will just kill it. That is what he wants. That is the power that Donald Trump is trying to obtain here. Hurt the government until they agree to give him all the power of the budget. Now, that is actually his plan. I talked about this last week too, but Johnny is trying to end the filibuster. He's been talking about that as well. I have a photo of that. I think I do, where he's talking about ending the filibuster. Yeah. So Senate Republicans brush off Trump's push to end the filibuster. Trump wants to end the filibuster. Why does he want to end the filibuster? Because he wants that control himself. He wants that power himself. He wants to set the agenda. He wants to set the prices. If the House has given money to something and he doesn't like it, he wants the ability to kill it. So he doesn't need the House. He doesn't want the House to exist. He decides dictatorially. He will have all the authority. He will be the unitary executive. He will be the authoritarian. He will have all the power. That's what he wants. The Senate still stands in his way. But the Senate is pushing against him. The Senate Republicans are even telling him no. Will the Senate agree to give up the filibuster? No. And here's why. Donald wants the government closed forever. Yes. I'm not kidding. He wants it to stay technically closed forever. He wants to be the sole person who decides everything in the government, literally everything. He does not want to debate in the House of Representatives. He does not want the Senate giving him bills to sign. He does not want judges telling him what he can and cannot do. And one step at a time, he's taking away all their power. He's put the Republicans in. He's gone with the what's the name of those people? The foundation, the Federalist Society. He's gone with the Federalist Society to get Republicans in charge of the judiciary who will give up all their power to the president. He supports Republicans in the House who give up all their power to the president. He supports the senators who give up all their power to the president. Because they don't want to make these decisions either, because they are all up for re-election, and deciding things makes people unhappy with you. If you decide a thing, people hate you for it. If you pick a side, somebody's going to be unhappy with you. I know I mentioned it last week, but the Senate is going to try to pass an emergency declaration. They're starting with this baby step. They're starting right here with this little one, with this bill that they rejected. This rejected bill is only the first step. The next thing that they will do is go further. They will go further. They will try to declare some sort of emergency, the declaration of emergency, and we give Donald Trump the power to pay the troops. Watch out for that term over the next couple of months. Most military members don't actually live in a barrack. Some of them do, but most of them have families and they live on a base, but a lot of them still live outside American bases. They have to have money to pay that rent. And even on American military bases, most of them have a public-private partnership with a company that maintains the houses on the military base. So you're basically the government is paying a company to house the soldiers. And if the government isn't paying the soldiers, that company isn't getting paid. So they might get into trouble too. They might run out of money. They might become bankrupt and be unable to house the soldiers. They're not going to kick them out because it's a military base. But any soldier living outside of a military base cannot pay their rent right now. They can't because they're not being paid. Now, this causes a problem. This causes soldiers to not have money for food and lodging, and then they will complain, and then the news will pick up on it, and it'll be a big story. So the Senate will pass an emergency declaration giving Trump the power to pay the troops. Watch out for that term. That's what I'm saying. When it happens, pay the troops will be the rallying cry that Fox News says. That will be the thing. The pay the troops bill. They'll call it the pay the troops bill. They'll even call it that. And it will have 100 little things underneath it. The big title, big headline, pay the troops bill. The small print is going to give Donald more power over how much money the government spends. It will give him the power that used to be Congress's power. It will give him the power that used to be the Senate's power. It will give him the power that the House used to hold. I think grocery store lobbyists would have more influence. Know for a fact that local Walmart is losing expected holiday profits. Yeah, absolutely. They're unhappy, which you can see in the stock markets as well as the numbers dip down because the stock market is just rich people's feelings. The rich people are feeling kind of nervous right now because they're losing money. But those lobbyists don't have power over Republicans. They have power over Democrats because Democrats need the money. They need the corporate funding more so than the Republicans because the Republicans need the corporate funding, but they're also far more ideological and they get their power from their racism and their MAGA base, you know? So the emergency declaration is going to come out. It's going to be called Pay the Troops. And then there's 1,000 little things that will make Donald more powerful, the president more powerful. And that'll be on all the social media. Pay the troops bill, pay the troops bill, pay the troops bill. And then it'll be on Fox News, pay the troops. And it'll be on CNN, pay the troops bill, being voted on today. Today is the day of the vote for the pay the troops bill. And if you don't support it, like the Dems, they won't. They'll be called un-American. They'll be called traitors. They'll be called all the names. Why don't you support the pay the troops bill? Everyone on Facebook will say. Everyone on X.com will say that they're terrible people for not supporting the pay the troops bill. All the bots that are on X.com will be paid to say, this guy, this Democrat is not supporting the pay the troops bill. How dare you? This is disgusting. Why would you be so anti-American as to not support the pay the troops bill? That will be the talking point for weeks leading up to it. The wieners in the Dem Party will vote no, but they won't be able to explain to you why, because they suck at talking. They suck at explaining things, and they suck at talking into a camera. I'm not any good at it either, but they're worse. Chuck Schumer will say, no, this bill will give the president unprecedented power, and I've put up this other bill, and nobody will care. He's boring. They will vote no because it will be an increase to the dictatorial presidential power and a decrease of democracy power of the House and the Senate. The House will lose power, the Senate will lose power, and the president will gain power. That is why they will turn it down. The way the government used to work is that the House decides how much to spend on everything. I know. Madness. How many dollars go to the food stamp programs? How many dollars go to the military? How many dollars go to running the post offices? This used to be a thing that they argued in the House. It's very boring. Nobody paid attention to it most of American history. It was just people debating and negotiating a 1% tax increase here for a 1% benefit increase there, a 1% decrease on this side, and where you're going to find that 1% decrease. But once TV news started, they hyped up every goddamn thing in the world. It became much more dramatic, the House deliberations. All these arguments became more important, way more dramatic. The players, the House members, became famous. And once they were famous and in front of TV cameras, they became more powerful. And once you become more powerful and famous, they get to raise their bribery costs. It costs more to bribe a House member today than it did 20 years ago. Not just because of inflation, but because they're in charge. They're in the news. They can go on the TV and talk to the people anytime they want. And the big donors know this. They know that they need to keep each House member knows that they need to keep their face in front of a camera so that The donors will pay for their campaigns, and the lobbyists will give them lavish gifts for their votes. And that's why they won't vote to remove the filibuster. The Senate needs that filibuster to hold the power that they have. They would lose power. They would lower the value of their votes. If you, hypothetically, sold oranges on the side of the road, you would want the most money for the fewest oranges, obviously. If you sold novelty Pokemon merchandise on Etsy, you would want all the money in the world. You would want $1 billion for this, obviously. But no one's going to pay $1 billion for it. So you have to do a delicate dance of price versus value. This is done also by every senator. They have to balance the donors making more money and getting next year's donation versus the will of the people. Okay? And there are people who are better at this argument. Chuck Schumer doesn't do anything to hurt Wall Street profits. He never will. If he votes to do a thing, it is only because it will benefit Wall Street. I'm making that accusation of him. And I'm allowed to do that still at the moment because you're allowed to talk shit about Democrats. If I said that about any Republican, I would be sued maybe. But he's got a difficult tightrope to walk. He has to help the companies, he has to help his donors, and he has to convince the American people that that's what's good for them. It's a difficult thing to do, and that's why he's not very popular. He's not very good at it. Bernie, on the other hand, also a senator, talks about helping the people, making the rich pay their fair share. The millionaires and the billionaires, they have to pay their fair share. We all know Bernie's rhetoric and his shtick. It is good shtick, but it helps, and it helps the people, and the people like that about him. That's why they give him so much of their money, and that's why he doesn't take as much. I think he takes some from PACs and donors and stuff like that, big donors, but he takes a lot less than the rest of the Senate. So that is the complicated, difficult thing they have to walk. Chuck Schumer has to keep being filthy rich, and he has to keep the donors happy, and he has to keep the government running, and he has to keep the people happy. And sometimes you can't do all of those things. Somebody has to suffer. And usually it's the poor people that have to suffer. Usually. They have to have their benefits cut. They have to have their Obamacare cut. They have to have their food stamps removed so that the people in charge, the very wealthy, can continue to make that money. But it's a fucking mess right now because and the filibuster is a part of that. That's what I was trying to get at. What was I aiming towards? The filibuster. The filibuster, if it were gone, you might only need 26 votes to pass anything. 26, not 50. No. 26. There is, let me see if I've got the numbers here. Here we go. Let's close that. The Senate has a minimum number required for a quorum. According to Article 1, Section 5, Clause 1 of the Constitution, a majority of each chamber constitutes a quorum to conduct business. With 100 senators, this means that a minimum of 51 senators must be present to form a quorum. So, only 51 need to be there if the filibuster is gone, which means you only need 26 votes to win. The Republicans have more than 26 votes. The Dems have more than 26 votes, but the Republicans are in charge right now, which means they get to dictate the schedule. They say, we're voting on this on Monday, we're voting on this on Tuesday, we're voting on this on Wednesday, we're voting on this on Thursday. The Republicans set that. And if you aren't in charge, you don't get to vote for the thing that you want. So the Republican, if the filibuster is gone, the Republicans will set a ridiculous date, New Year's Eve, midnight, 12:01 on a Saturday night, on a holiday weekend or something stupid. And they will, and if you're not there, they can continue if there are only 51 people on board. And there are 51 Republicans. There are. So all the Republicans will show up. They might even not tell them. That gets a little dicey by not telling the Democrat senators when you're going to do the vote, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did. And then they vote, and they get 26 yes votes, to change the Constitution, to change anything within the law. And they will do this, and you won't be able to stop them. They will change all the rules. They will change all the laws. And that is what Donald Trump wants. Now, he wants 26 hardline super MAGA people who love him, which he has. He probably does have that, to change all the rules, change all the laws anytime he wants. Why that won't happen, why I think this will not happen, is because that would devalue the vote that all senators have. They would not be able to sell that vote for as much. So that bag of oranges that I talked about selling on the side of the road would become less valuable. And so you would not want that, you know? So that's why they're not going to push it. That makes their buying 26 senators for a discount is way less money than buying 60 of them at full price. So they don't want that to happen. With the filibuster gone, they might only need the 26 votes rather than 60. And it makes buying senators cheaper. And if they're cheaper to buy, they'll be offered less money, obviously. This might lead to a fight. So I think this might lead to a fight in the executive versus the Senate Republicans. The executive Republicans, what's his name? Stephen Miller, the Nazi, and Pam Bondi, the Nazi, and all the Nazis that work for Donald Trump in the executive are going to push this as a thing that will solve all the problems. They're going to tell you that this will solve the problems. Get rid of the filibuster. This will solve your problems. Get rid of the filibuster. We'll reopen the government. Get rid of the filibuster. And we will finally be able to get all of the illegals out of the country. That's what they're going to tell you. It's not true. I mean, it is kind of true, but they would become authoritarians in the process. But the Senate isn't going to take it. They're not going to accept that because that would lead to them losing money. And nothing is more important to Chuck Schumer than staying filthy rich. Nothing is more important to John Thune, the Republican in charge of the Senate, than staying filthy rich. And next year's filthy rich donations need to come in, and he needs all that. So they are not going to push this. The Senate isn't going to. Will the executive force this on them? I'm not entirely sure they can. I don't know how they would. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, the Dems are not going to vote for the pay the troops bill, and Fox News will explode with anger and vitriol. Why aren't you paying the troops? Why aren't you paying the troops? Well, it's because they don't want Donnie to be the decider, and that is what he wants. He wants to determine what the government does 100% of the time, all the time, and he will never accept the idea that it needs to be debated within the House, that it needs to be negotiated within the Senate. He hates that shit. He wants to be the emperor, and he doesn't understand why everybody keeps standing in his way. He thinks, because he's stupid, that Joe Biden was an emperor, and he just ran roughshod over the House and the Senate, and they all gave him everything that he wanted. It was never true. But he imagines that it was true, so it's true in his head. And there's your problem, is that whatever they imagine to be true is true in their minds. It's very hard to argue with what someone imagines to be true inside their own brain. You can't argue with that. What facts could you bring to the arguments? What facts could you bring to anyone who thinks that Hunter Biden's laptop proves that Joe Biden's crooked? Like, you can't bring facts to them. They have abandoned facts. They don't care about facts. They don't care about reality. None of this. Facts and reality have abandoned them a long time ago. So you can't talk them into anything. And there's a big part of the issue is that you cannot have a decent conversation with people like this because they imagine things to be a certain way. And if you argue with that, if you tell them that that's not actually true, you're insulting not only their personality, but their identity. And I talk about that a lot, that politics and identity ought to be two different things, but they are very similar and they are very entwined. I recognize even within myself that I have an identity. I know I have one, and that is very closely aligned with the politics that I have. if a Dem loses, if Zoran lost, does that hurt my identity? Maybe. I think he's a good guy. I think he's doing good things. I think he's saying things that I agree with. And if he loses, well, that's a statement on me, isn't it? That means that I'm following someone who isn't appreciated by the wider culture. Makes me an outsider. And that's a complicated and difficult thing to deal with, but all politics is based on feelings. I have the feelings that he has. And if the 90% of voters say, no, we hate that, then that makes me feel bad. That makes me feel like a loser. That makes me feel like an outsider. That makes me feel like they don't appreciate me. And that's why I think it's important to talk about politics with your friends, with people who are paying attention to you, with people who recognize that they are based on feelings. They're not based on facts. It's the biggest lie that the conservatives ever told anyone, is that facts don't care about your feelings, or that the Republicans are fact-based. It's nonsense. They are feelings-based all day, every day. And what was I getting towards? I don't think that the filibuster is going to go away. I don't think that Donnie's going to get rid of it. I don't think that the people within the Senate are going to vote to get rid of the filibuster. They like it because it gives them power, authority, and raises their bribery price. Is it straight bribery? Maybe, maybe not. If they have crypto and you're giving them billions of dollars to vote one way, then that's bribery. If you're giving it to them secretly through a Swiss bank account, or buying their stocks, or something along those lines, or helping them to make money, then it's just as much bribery. If it's just promising to pay for their next campaign, if they vote for something, which everybody does, that's what the lobbyists do, that I think is bribery too. But if that becomes cheaper and easier and requires less money because this filibuster is gone, they're not going to support that idea. So, yeah, that's my stream for today. I appreciate everybody who's here. Thanks for coming in, Malachi. Thanks for coming in, Malcidian. Thanks for being here, Valor. I appreciate everybody who's here. Thanks very much. If you're paying attention, if you're watching, you can hop into the Discord. Discord? No, that ain't it. Let's do the Discord. Bam. There's a Discord. And if you are paying attention, I can put it in a YouTube channel too. Huh? Copy link. Put it in there. Copy pasta. There we go. There's the YouTube link. Or no, I'm sorry. That's the Discord link. Go on over there. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. Argue with people in the chat, and then leave links to stories that you want to talk about and stuff like that. I'll bring them up on the screen. Or you can go over to the YouTube channel. If you're watching on Twitch, YouTube. There's the YouTube link. I can copy that. I don't need to copy that link into YouTube. Go to the YouTube. Break the thumbs up. Smash the bell. Obliterate the subscribe button, and then spread some hatred in the comments, because the YouTube algorithm is powered by hatred. The more hatred you have towards anything, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be me. It could be me. If you hate Donald Trump, go to the YouTube algorithm, go to YouTube and hate him. It will power me. It will empower me. The YouTube algorithm is powered by hatred. So go there and hate something, anything, anyone. It doesn't matter. You could hate My Little Ponies in my comments, and it would empower me within the YouTube algorithm. It's a complicated system, but that's what it is. So go on over there, spread some hatred, and I will be benefited, and that's good for me. So I appreciate that. Thank you. I will be back on Wednesday, 7 p.m. West Coast, Best Coast time, at night, to talk about anything else. So if you got anything to talk about, go on over to Discord, let me know, and I'll be back then. So in the meantime, watch the YouTube, and that is it for me. I will be back on Wednesday, unless the Gestapo kick in my door and drag me off to the gulag. Goodbye.